All right, I'm going to try to do this again. Tried to make this video the other day, but didn't work. This is going to be a long video, so we'll see how this goes. But what I wanted to show all of you, and I've shown you some of these things in different videos, different Wyvern videos that I've made. I'm going to show you every rule change that I have implemented for the Wyvern card game. This includes mechanics in the gameplay and changes to the cards. As you can see right here, I've taken a black marker and just made this card free. Now this one is not a big deal. I'm okay with this one costing 1 gold. You hit a terrain, you get a gold. My issue is, yeah, I hit a terrain, I get a gold, so now I'm even. I'm going to have to hit a second terrain to get 1 gold. I think he should just be free. And that makes him a really good scout. Yes, Typhon is a free scout with no ability, so shouldn't this guy have a gold cost since he has an ability, shouldn't he cost 1 gold? I almost feel like if you're going to charge him a gold initially, then the first time he hits a terrain, you ought to get 2 gold. So you made a gold. And then after that, you get 1 gold. So there's an option instead of changing the gold. Just leave it, but you get 2 the first time you hit a terrain. Because what are the odds that you're going to hit 2 terrains with Mo-O before your opponent destroys him? There's a chance. Obviously, it could happen. But all right, let me go over the other rule changes. And that's why I have these 2 cards out. The first change I made to this game, because I didn't like the rule, is that if a non-scout, as you can see, Mo-O, for those of you who don't know, Mo-O is a scout. If a non-scout hits a terrain, and all the green cards are terrains, the terrain is destroyed. If a scout hits the terrain is destroyed. If a non-scout hits these terrains, the terrain attaches to the dragon, and the penalties apply, and you get gold. You hit my terrain, I get 2 gold. That's really good. The problem is if the terrain doesn't apply, you don't get any gold. The terrain does not attach to the dragon. Instead, it's just destroyed as though a scout hit it. That makes cards like this unplayable, because what if it doesn't apply? It's not going to do anything. It's just going to get destroyed. So you tend to not play cards like this. Now, this one only affects flyers. You could put it in the back row, and that would be okay. But what are you going to do with this one? I mean, only subterranean dragons? So why play it? So if you would just swap out the terrain instead of having the terrain destroyed, I think that solves the problem. So a dragon hits it. They don't get the effects because it doesn't apply. They don't destroy it. The terrain is swapped out. You don't lose the battle position, but you did lose the terrain. It's gone. It's in your discard pile. It has no effect on the game. So you were hoping to weaken a subterranean dragon or a flyer by -2 and get 2 gold. You get nothing. You get no gold. The terrain is swapped out, but they didn't destroy it. So only scouts can destroy terrains in my Wyvern games. So I think that's a much better rule. And if anybody disagrees, I'd love to hear any disagreements you have. I want to hear them. Leave a comment. Let me know, because I'm more interested in understanding how people see this game and how you think about how the rules should be. I have 2 more changes that I made to the play of the game. I think it was just 2 more. One is, let's just say, I'm going to see if I can set this up here. Let's just say we don't want to do a scout. So let's just say you've got a dragon, non-scout, in the front row, my opponent. And that's good. We'll just say that's their front row, and you've got back row. We'll just so you can see the setup. So there's your front row, there's your back row. Here's my front row, and back here I could have more. And I might have, something here, whatever, or maybe I've got a scout there, whatever. What I decided to do, what we decided to do, well, it was my rule change. My friend likes it. We've enjoyed playing it this way. Is if my opponent has a face-up dragon in the front row, non-scout. In this case, yes. And if I have a terrain in the front row at the beginning of my turn, that's important, because otherwise you could just move it up and do this. So the requirements are they have to have a face-up dragon in the front row. I have to have a terrain in the front row that applies. This one will not apply, so I couldn't use this one. But let's just say it was a normal terrain that did apply. Instead of attacking, in your battle phase, you can attack or swap out. Now you can do a third option, which is attach a terrain. I can turn up my terrain, attach it to the dragon. In this case, well, I would get the gold, and it would have the effects of the terrain. Now I can't do that if it doesn't apply. So if you mess up, it's going to get swapped out anyway, which it would have regardless. So you simply attach the terrain, and you get the effects. So you say, well, no one's going to want to have a face-up dragon in the front row. It's like, well, sometimes you're going to have to. Sometimes you have to attack, and you're not just going to attack from your back row. Sure, you're going to tend to try to do that, but you can only attack with flyers from the back row. So this does come up. This will come up. You will end up, your opponent will end up attacking from the front row. It will happen. It won't happen as often, of course, and there is now a risk, but it does happen, and it's a really good effect. It makes terrains very interesting in the game. Now, if you attach a killer terrain to the dragon, it kills the dragon. My friend did that with me. He killed my dragon. I was like, and I'm like, you know what? That's okay. The requirements were met. You had the killer terrain there. Took out my dragon, and I thought it was fine. I didn't see that as being overly powered. Yes, this improves the terrains. Terrains are better in the game, but I think they needed to be better. I think that was one of the issues with Wyvern, and this game does have several issues. I think this game is great. It just has several issues, and I think I've resolved them. The third mechanic in the turn sequence comes at the end. After the second action phase, I've added one more phase before the end phase. So you have the second action phase, and then you have the end phase. In between those, I added the discard draw phase. You may, if you want, discard a card from your hand to draw a card. If you do that, you immediately go to the end phase. You cannot play an action card. Well, like if you draw something that you want to play. No, you can't play anything. The moment you discard and draw, you now are in the end phase. We have found that this really makes the game better. There are often cards in your hand that you don't want. This also makes cards that you might not normally play. You might now play them because you can discard them if they're just a dead card in your hand. And then you go right to the end phase, and then you have to discard down to 7 if you have more than 7. Now, there are other rule changes. We did alternate things that we don't normally do. We played a game once where you can draw 2 cards on your draw phase, and your maximum hand size is 8. And we, of course, absolutely incorporated the discard draw with those rules. That's a little crazy. We also did a thing where all terrains, no matter what the terrain says, it gets an additional -1 strength modifier and an additional gold. So if you had a terrain that had, let me see if I can find one here. Well, like Forest Fire. Well, this just kills the dragon, so you wouldn't put a -1 strength modifier on it, but you'd get a gold. So you add a gold no matter what. This would be -2 strength modifier, and you'd get 3 gold. This would get, if it doesn't kill the dragon doesn't apply, well, you're going to get -1, and you get a gold. So this will always do something now. This will never get swapped out because it will always apply. Because if it doesn't apply, it's a -1 strength modifier and you get 1 gold. And therefore, all your killer terrains will never get swapped out. That was a really neat effect that we really liked. That's another thing you could do. If the terrain doesn't apply, it's just a -1 strength modifier. You could just do that. So lots of options for how to improve this game. All right, now I'm going to go over the card changes, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot here. Like I said, I've lowered the cost of Mo-O to 0. Or you could do, you get 2 gold the first terrain you hit and just leave the 1 gold cost there. I've also done this with Panlung. Now, some of you aren't going to like that I take a marker and do this, but I have no problem doing this. It just makes it free. And you can say, well, Panlung's got an ability. This shouldn't be free. Yes, what I would do, it's because it's a minor ability, and minor abilities to me shouldn't cost a gold. It is effective if he loses in a battle to a flying dragon. Yeah, he gives him a -1 strength modifier. I would make him free for that. If I'm going to leave the gold, I would say that the strength modifier would be -2. That's what I would do to make this card better. All right, so that's my change. Chimera, as you already saw, I had made it free. I think this card should be free. Let me see if I can make my case here. Hold on one second. All right, so here we have Raha, who attacks as a 1 strength dragon. He attacks as 2 from face down, 0 from face up. So Chimera attacks at 1 from face down. He already is 0. This guy doesn't have a gold cost, and I don't think this one should either. You say, well, yeah, but this one attacks 0 from face down. That's why he doesn't have a gold cost. Okay, I can see that. But is this really worth a gold? He gets +1 when he's face down and attacking. That's the only time. I don't think that's worthy of a gold. Gandarua attacks at 4 from face down, 0 from face up, so there's no gold cost. But with Naga, there is. Naga is strength 3, attacks at 6, 0 from face up. I could even see taking the gold off of Naga. Don't have to. With Naga and Agitar is the 4 strength dragon that attacks at 8. These last 2, I would leave the gold on it, but if I was going to take them off, I'm not opposed to it. But with these and this, I think this one should stay free as well. That again is just my way of my way of seeing how this game would play better. All right, let's go on. We've got Colchis. Colchis is a weak little dragon, and we've got Nidhagar, another weak little 1 strength dragon with no abilities. Why not just make these guys free? Just say they cost nothing. So for 0 gold, you get a 1 strength dragon. It's still a bad dragon, still not worth your time, but it's a little better. With Lambton Worm, this is, in my opinion, a broken card. Not good design, but if you're going to play it, I would change the 1 gold to 3 gold. At 3 gold, at least now you've got to pay something to get that extra battle position back. So that is the change we made, the Lambton Worm, or we just don't play Lambton Worm. If my opponent isn't playing Lambton Worm, I'm not playing Lambton Worm. We either both play it or we both don't play it. That's what we do. Then we have these guys, these 2 strength dragons. Oh no, let me do the 1 strength thing. So with the 0 strength, these guys are a 1. Why not just get rid of the penalty? Why should a 1 strength dragon have a penalty? He's just a 1 strength dragon. He attacks at 2 from face down. Just leave it at that. Gandarua, I can leave the 0 because he attacks as a 4 for 2 gold, and that's powerful. So then he's a 0. Even there, I don't think you necessarily need the 0, but make it a 1. Maybe he's just a 1. So those are options. All right. So now we have these 4 dragons that are 2 strength dragons that either have no ability with these 2 guys, and one's a sub, or these 2, one is a sub, who have a minor ability that, again, it's minor and it rarely comes up because archers and giant ants are rares. So barring that, why not just say these guys only cost 1? Make these guys cost 1 gold. Now they're better. Now you get a 2 strength dragon for 1 gold. That's pretty good. Now I wouldn't change the flyers. Notice I didn't bring up Griffin, who's a 1 strength flyer for 1 gold. He's a flyer. The 1 gold is justified. I think here you lower the cost to 1 gold, and these cards just got better. These are not good cards. They're okay. They're mediocre at best in a limited tournament. A limited environment, I should say. All right, this guy I got rid of the gold because he's a 2-strength dragon for 3, and he gets +2 strength if you discard a treasure in your row. So he'll get +4 if you have 2 treasures to discard. Yeah, but you're losing treasures, and it's a one-time effect. So why is there an additional gold cost? Just make this guy a 2 for 2, so at least he's a 2 for 2, and his ability is there, and maybe you'll use it, but otherwise he's just a 2 for 2. This makes this card much more playable. I never liked this card at all, playing it. Now this guy's a good dragon, so why get rid of the gold? Well, 3 strength flying for 4 is okay because, you know, the ability is relevant, but it doesn't come up all that often. How often does help come up? Well, you know, in a regular game, it's going to come up. There's the help card, there's the magic potion, and other than that, the only thing I think are the 3 rare dragons that can get help, and Indra would be the other rare dragon that can give help. So it stops those, but those are rares, and other than that, it doesn't do anything. Make it cost 3. So 3 strength flyer for 3 with a fairly minor ability, but it's significant, but you can't use help either. It's stopping you too. So this card becomes a very good dragon for 3 gold. That's my opinion. Same with Hydra. Hydra, you get a 4-strength dragon who immediately drops to a 3 after the battle, and he can only get bigger if you pay a gold once a turn, and you can make him 4, 5, 6, 7, but you have to pay a gold each turn to increase his strength by 1. But every time he's in a battle, he loses a strength. Just have his initial cost be 3, and this guy's much better. He's too expensive as is. A 4-strength dragon for 4 that after 1 battle is a 3, and then you have to pay a gold to make him a 4 again. So now you've spent 5 gold? No. Start him with 3 gold, and you will see that this dragon is now a good dragon. The grow ahead of each turn is great, but it's expensive. Should this guy only cost 3? Should Echidna only cost 3? Well, this is a relevant ability because you can't slay dragons that are face down, but you have to win the battle, and it might not be that relevant. It's not always going to be relevant. So I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one, but at 3 gold, he's just a better dragon, and he certainly isn't too powerful in my opinion. So I'm not opposed to making this 3, but I've left it at 4. Wyvern, we decided let's make Wyvern only cost 3 because it's Wyvern. The game is Wyvern. Let's make Wyvern cost 3. He's the one exception. Well, I've just made exceptions with the 2 strengths costing 1 and the 1 strength costing 0. But that's it. There are no other lowering gold costs unless it's an ability that I don't feel is worth it, which those dragons are coming up. So Wyvern is a 4-strength flyer for 3 gold. There are no dragons like that. There are no 4-strength dragons for 3 gold other than Hydra. There are no 3-strength dragons for 2 gold. So this makes him special. And I think that would be much better. And I like playing this guy for 3 gold, obviously. Now, should this guy only cost 3 gold? Because, you know, Super Flyer, that's relevant. Super Flyer is relevant, but how much different is a flyer from a Super Flyer? So if Kokukan was a 4, so your 4-strength flyer costs 4, your 4-strength super flyer costs 5? I mean, there is no 4-strength super flyer in the game, but I'm just pointing out the difference between a flyer and a super flyer isn't that big of a deal. It can be. This would be really good at 3. Again, this is kind of I'm 50-50 on this one. I haven't lowered it, but we might, because that makes this a really good dragon. A 3-strength super flyer for 3, that's not overpowered. That's my point. All right, I know I had other dragons that I lowered the gold cost. Hold on, let me grab some. Okay, so like Echidna, White-eared Dragon does the exact same thing. He's a 4-strength dragon for 5. I wouldn't have a problem saying this guy just costs 4. But he's a bigger dragon, so he's more likely to win battles, so he's a little bit better in that sense, which justifies the cost. So either way, not that big of a deal. Then I have this guy, Ananta. Subterranean dragons are rare. You rarely get into battles with subterranean dragons. It will happen, but if you just make this a 3-strength dragon for 3 with that ability, he's good. He's good. This is not an ability that comes up regularly. If it comes up fairly regularly, then it's totally worth the cost. This, I thought, was totally justified. Can't be forced to discard cards from your hand. The problem is that rarely comes up. And is it really worth that extra gold? Sure, if your opponent's playing Stranglehold, or if they have dragon abilities that make you discard a card, you would bring this in out of the sideboard. This is really a sideboard card, but I still don't want to pay 4 for it. It's just a 3-strength dragon that says, while he's face up, you can't force me to discard cards. All you got to do is kill him. He has to be face up for the ability to work. So I would leave this guy at 3. Okay, then I already mentioned this guy. I would leave him as a gold cost of 1 simply because he's flying. He's a very weak dragon, not really worth it. I don't see any reason for the gold piece on Piazza. You can't cancel a battle against my 1-strength flying dragon. I mean, maybe. I'm not. I would get rid of the gold there. I don't think that's relevant. All right, let's see if there's any chameleon dragons that I think should have their cost adjusted. Well, there aren't many, but there are a few. I do not know why this guy should cost 2 gold. Chi Wen says place a +1 strength counter on Chi Wen each time he attacks and eliminates a terrain. So you've got a 0 scout for 2 gold. That's equivalent to the cost of Mogre, who's very powerful. And if you hit a terrain, now he's a 1-strength scout. And if you hit a second terrain, now he's a 2-strength scout. You've just paid 2 gold for this guy. I could see 1 gold. Because every time he hits a terrain, he gets a +1 strength counter. Okay, 1 gold. That's it. This card goes for big money, by the way. I don't care. I'm keeping it because he's the only copy I have for some reason. Maybe I sold the other ones. I don't even remember. But this should only cost 1 gold. That's just silly. I'm not gonna take my marker and mark the gold off, though. I'm not gonna do that. So then we have Dragon of Wells, who's a little 1-strength dragon who costs 2, and as an action, you can pay a gold piece to put a +1 strength counter on any other face-up dragon. It can be used once on each of your turns. All right, that's a good ability, but the cost is already in the card. So why does he need to cost 2 for a 1-strength dragon? Just get rid of the gold. Make it cost 1. Now, this card, I love my purple tinge. I don't know how I got this card with this purple tinge, but I love it. It's in my binder. Same thing. It's the same card, basically. Well, no, it's different. What is the difference between this one and Wells? It puts a counter on. This removes all counters on him. So maybe this is justified, but again, the cost is there. It's already there. So it's a 3-strength dragon for 3, and you can pay a gold piece as an action or battle action to remove all negative counters. There's no need for it. But isn't this wild, this purple tinge? I don't know if that makes it worth anything, but, I just like the way it looks. Maybe they should make all their cards like this in Wyvern 2nd edition, if they ever make it. No, that would be too much. I don't think that the purple tinge would go over real well if all the dragons had that. So this card, Tunnel, is very bizarre. It says you can only attack cards in a direct line. Otherwise, you attack at -1 strength. How will this ever come up? Because all you have to do is move the dragon in the movement phase. So that's all you would do is just move it, and then you'll never attack at -1. So this is never going to happen. Now let me show you another card. So there's this card, Arctic Winds. Dragon with Arctic Winds on it may not move during its owner's movement phase. I would say you can't move if you're in a tunnel either. That's it. I mean, maybe do something more with Arctic Winds then, but you can't move. I don't think you should be allowed to move, or some kind of penalty. There has to be something like Arctic winds to stop this. So that needs to be changed. This card, I did not fully understand this card until I read the information in the Wyvern Insider's Guide. You should all, if you play this game, buy this on eBay. This book is a must. This gives good information on this card Trap. I thought you could just swap out the cards. Like, well, I've stolen your dragon, so on my turn, I'll pay the 2 gold because I got to pay the 2 gold every turn, but I'll just swap it out and be done with it. Well, no, if you swap it out, it goes back to your opponent gets the dragon back. Oops. So this isn't as good as I thought it was. I thought Trap was really good. And I was like, why haven't I played this card before? It's like, oh, that's why, because it goes back to the dragon. So what you do, though, is you just keep attacking. It's still a good card. You steal their dragon, you just keep attacking every turn because you don't want them to get it back. But if you can't pay the gold, it could be bad. And I feel like there needs to be a way around that. Like if you, I don't know what the way around it is, because if you don't pay the gold, they get it back. And if you pay the gold, you can't swap it out because they get it back. So why would you do that? That wouldn't make any sense. So it's weird that they say if you swap it out, you get it back. Well, it's like, okay, I guess they wanted to make it clear. They clarify it in the Insider's Guide because it's obviously not on this card. So I like the card. I think it's really, really cool. But boy, that's really expensive. Maybe you only pay 1 gold, like 2 gold the first time and 1 gold thereafter, because that's a huge drain. But if you're attacking with their dragon each turn, I mean, it's like, yeah, go ahead, kill your dragon. I don't mind. I don't know. Not really sure about that. Then there's this card, Cave. Cave is good. Dragon can only attack face-down cards for the rest of the game. You want them attacking face-down cards. You don't want to attack face-down cards because that's the risk. So this is actually good, and I think that's why there's only 1 gold on here. If there are no face down cards, they can attack, but at -1 strength, I feel like that should be -2. You can only attack face down cards. Oh, there aren't any, so you have no choice. You have to attack the face up card, -2 strength. That's what I would do for a card like that. Same with the one that says you can only attack face up cards. I don't know if that's in my list here. So I don't know why the swamp. Oh, I guess that the swamp was in here to show the difference. Yeah, these are just fine the way they are, but I did like the idea of adding a -1 strength modifier and gold, but I wouldn't make that a permanent change. This is an alternate rule. Let's buff our terrains. So these are now -2 with 3 gold, -3 with 2 gold, and that's a cool alternate rule. I wouldn't make that a permanent rule. All right, what I did with Forest Fire is very simple. Kills any dragon that discovers it. The owner of the slain dragon may place the Forest Fire on any card in either battlefield and destroy that card. So I'm never going to play this card because you might take out my best card and I might take out nothing, basically, of yours. Something that you're like, oh, well, at least I get to take out your guy. So this could totally blow up in my face, and I guess that's why it's called Forest Fire. I say, oh, you hit my Forest Fire, your guy dies. Now I have to sacrifice a card that's on the battlefield, one of my cards. I get to pick it. Now I'm playing this card because it's really good, but I'm still losing something, and I might lose a battle position, but I could lose a treasure. I could lose an attached card, an attached terrain. There's other options, and now this is a very good card because I'm not going to lose potentially my best card because I'm probably not going to take out your best card. So that's what we did with Forest Fire. Much better. All right. So with Gold Dig and Gold Thief, we added for Gold Find and Gold Thief, we added you get 3 gold, your opponent gets 2 gold. Now Gold Find is good. That extra gold is significant. Same with Gold Thief. Not only do I take 1 gold from you, I take 1 gold from the gold mine. My thief steals 1 from my opponent and 1 from the gold mine. He's a good little thief, gets me 2 gold. They lose 1. That's good. I like Gold Thief and I like Gold Find now. So what do you do with cards like this? They're okay. Sometimes this is relevant. Sometimes you'll say, boy, I could really use an avalanche right now. Well, there's two things you can do. You could add draw card to cards like this. Very simple solution. That makes this a really good card, though. Or you could add, well, that's a little too powerful. Another way of looking at it is you could pay a gold to draw a card. Optional. You can play the card for free, or you can play the card, pay a gold, draw a card. Now it's a better card. It's not overpowered. Really, really good. A lot of cards I'm going to do that with in this game. So City, just make this free. Cauldron does this every turn. If you play the Treasure Cauldron, you can turn down a dragon every turn, but only in the row. And that costs 1 gold to play. This is a dragon of your choice. So I could turn down one of your dragons, which is significant, like if you're playing the Terrain Ruins, then you want to play this and turn down their dragon. But just make this free, and this is a much better card. It's not overly powerful at all, but for free, and we play it for free, I like this card now. I don't like paying a gold piece just to turn my dragon down to protect it from Dragon Slayers. It's just not, that's too much of a cost. This card you can add, pay a gold, draw a card. And you can do, should you be allowed to do that at the beginning or at the end, like before or after you look at the cards? Of course, you could be looking at your opponent's cards. But regardless, I say when you play the card, you can pay a gold to draw a card, and then you do its effects. But if you want to make it even better, do it after you've rearranged your 5 cards, and then you get to draw the card. Yeah, you could do that too. This card is so bad, I don't know what they were thinking. Just say all opponents must discard 1 card from their hand. That's it. That's all you got to do with this card. You want to do pay a gold, draw a card? You want to add that? You can. You could just make that a rule of the game that any card you play, if you really want to go crazy, any card you play, you can always pay an extra gold to draw a card. That's an option that you can use. Optional rules are great in card games if you don't know. No dwarven armies allowed in this battle. How often is that going to come up? Clearly a sideboard card. Pay a gold to draw a card, or you can discard this card from your hand to draw a card. You could do something like that because, well, you're not playing dwarven armies, and I don't want this card in my hand anymore. But why would you ever play this card unless you know your opponent's playing dwarven armies? Same with frost breathing. Same exact thing. Pay a gold, draw a card. Sure. Discard a card to draw a card. You could do that. Or discard this card to draw a card. Or just add draw a card. Just straight up draw a card to these cards. All right, Heat Wave. Same thing. Pay a gold to draw a card. Now you have the option. You may pay a gold if you do draw a card. That's how I would play this card. That way, the card is fine. It helps. It gives you a better chance to win a battle. It gives you a chance to slay a dragon that you couldn't have slain. So Heatwave, while it's not a powerful card by any means, it's a mediocre card. It does serve a purpose in the game, and it's a significant card for the game. And they even have a native terrain dragon who is immune to heat waves and who count as they get bonuses with the heat waves in your discard pile. I like that native terrain dragon. So knowledge, again, you may pay a gold if you do draw a card. Makes this a really good card now because you don't have to pay the gold. Same with this card. These are all real simple. These are weak cards that I rarely play. This is good if your dragon's got a terrain on it or 2 terrains and it's really been weakened or whatever. Poison breathing. There's other negative modifiers. If it has any negative modifiers on it, Magical Healing gets rid of everything. Village just gets rid of 1 card, but it gets rid of any card. So Magical Healing can only get rid of things that weaken the dragon. I think Martha Bethany should be free. I don't mind this card at 1 gold because it is a significant thing. But if the dragon gets turned down, she goes away. Village gets rid of her. So I'd make it free because it's not that hard to get rid of this card. So I don't think you should have to pay a gold for it. This card should absolutely only cost 1 gold. You play this for 1 gold. I played it for 1 gold. I did not mind playing it. I've never played it for 2. I just this is crazy. Why would I pay 2 gold for this effect? Am I wrong? Is there a time when you want this card in your hand for 2 gold? Make it 1 gold, and this is a pretty good card, and I would play it. This card is one of the worst cards in the game, in my opinion. It should be free. At free, it's like a mediocre average card, like at best. You can pay a gold to draw a card if you want. Sure. But if this is free, then I'll play it. And there's a native terrain with seaweed as an additional thing to the native terrain. So they did something for Heat Wave and seaweed, showing that they even realized these cards were a little weak. This card is useless unless for some reason you want this effect. Draw a card, pay a gold, draw a card, discard this card to draw a card. All those, anything you can come up with to make these cards more playable. How often do you play this? This is clearly a sideboard card when you go up against a scout deck or somebody just playing, multiple scouts. It's not a good enough effect, though. It only turns it off for 1 turn. So what are some options? You could say this works for this turn and the next turn. That's cool. You could pay a gold to draw a card. You could discard this card from your hand to draw a card. Anything you want to do with it, but it needs to be improved. It's really a sideboard card, I think. Someone did play against me in a tournament because he was playing a terrain deck. So he had 4 of these in his deck. But, the next turn, if he didn't have another one, I could attack with my scout. So that was that. I would say this thing turns off scouts for 2 turns. No scouts can attack for this turn and the next turn. And they can't attack you. I can attack with scouts. Don't hurt me with this card. All right. Lightning and Subterranean River. You attach it to the dragon. You can attach it to your dragon or your opponent's dragon. You can now slay their dragon with Cadmus, slays any flying dragon. Thor slays any subterranean dragon. Or you can put them on your dragon, make your dragon a flyer, gives it more versatility, more range. If you put this on a non-subterranean dragon, they're like a super flyer. They're effectively a super flyer. They can attack any card there, anything. You can do the pay a gold to draw a card if you want. I think Lightning, since Subterranean River effectively makes my guy a super flyer, I think Lightning should make it a super flyer. I do. I think that would make this a little bit better. Subterranean River is good. I don't mind Subterranean River at all. But again, you can add those abilities, but I just wanted to point that out if you didn't know. I didn't even realize this early in the game. Oh, wow, I can play this on my opponent and then slay their dragon with Thor. We're going to make Thor better too. If you haven't seen my videos, that's coming up. This card is completely useless unless your opponent is playing St. George. So how can we make this better? We could do the gold thing for the draw card, but I don't do that with treasures, but you could if you wanted to. How about this doesn't take up a treasure position? How about you can still play a treasure in this treasure slot where Princess Libya is? Makes it a little better. It's clearly a sideboard card. I mean, in the basic game, they're probably going to play St. George. St. George is not a bad card. It's just, how often does it come up? So little things like that you want to do. I don't think there was anything I wanted to do with this card. I'm trying to remember why I put this in here. I mean, it's clearly a sideboard card that you would play. Not sure if you'd want to do you may discard this card to draw a card. There might be things, because you aren't going to play this card unless your opponent is playing killer terrains. All right, this card and sword. Where's the sword? Where's my sword? The sword's got to be here. All right, well, there it is. Both of these cards should only cost 1 gold. Lower these to 1 gold, and now they are a better card. They're much more playable. They're playable at 2 gold, but that's a lot of money. And it's an okay effect. But at 1 gold, I didn't find them to be too powerful. Lower them to 1 gold, take your marker and just mark it off, and there you go. Now, this is different. This is interesting. This isn't all that great, but it's not bad. You get a gold when you win a battle. What if this is just an option, you could say this card costs a gold to play, but every time you win a battle, you get 2 gold. I think that makes it a better card. Yeah, you got to pay the gold, but now you're going to get 2 gold every time you win a battle. Ooh, I like that. So that's just an option. Should this say -2 strength modifier in addition? Maybe that's too much. But again, this is a weak card. Different things you could do with this, but it's okay. But you're telegraphing that you're playing terrains. I think -2 strength modifier might make this a pretty good card, but I don't know. I've never really played it like that. It would be interesting to see how that plays. So treasure rooms, same with gold. Pay a gold to play this card, and every time you lose a battle, you get 2 gold. I like it. All right, now this one, we said, boy, this card's dumb. Just make it free, because all it does is turns your dragon into a flyer. And in the updated wording, I don't have that card with. Well, let me see if I have the card. So the updated wording added the word action. So now you can only play this in your action phase once per turn. So in a battle, you have a magic wand, and you can never during the battle turn your dragon into a flyer or a non-flyer during a battle. Why? This said you can do it at any time. So what we said, we said this has got to be free if you can only do it in the action phase. Why would you play this card? But if you can do it if this, instead of saying action, it said action or reaction, and then it said once per turn, you can only do this once per turn, because then your wand, you got to recharge your wand. It's going to take a turn. So now I can do this at any point, action or reaction. So my opponent goes to slay my dragon, and he's playing Cadmus. I immediately turn it into a non-flyer. But he knows that I've got it, so will he do that? No, he won't do it. There's no way he's going to do that, but it turns it off. He can't. He knows he can't do it. In battle, if he brings in a dragon that says flying dragons lose strength, boom, it's not a flyer anymore. During battle, you should be allowed to change your dragon to a flyer or a non-flyer. Or why can't you change it to a subterranean? I'm paying a gold for this. Action or reaction, once per turn, you may turn any of your dragons into a non-flying dragon, a flying dragon, or a subterranean dragon. Now just say flyer, non-flyer, or subterranean dragon. Just say it like that. And that, now maybe I'll play this card. But if I can only do this once per turn in the action phase, this is free, and I still am not playing this card. All right, Thor. If you've watched my videos, you already know. We made this 1 gold, and we added that Thor can also slay any dragon of strength 1 or less. Sigurd, for 1 gold, can slay any dragon of 2 strength or less, so he's not as good as Sigurd, but he can slay any subterranean dragon. Subterranean dragons are very few and far between. Now I like Thor. Thor's good. And I just think that's a much better version. I never play this card. I might play it. I made a deck where I play 4 subterranean rivers, and I played Thor. But I still change it to 1 gold, because it's just not worth it. So this card is perfectly fine if your opponent is canceling battles with Knight or with Mount Chung. I don't think there's any other way to cancel a battle, but if there is, sure, this is a sideboard card. But again, you could pay a gold to draw a card. You could do anything you want to make this a little bit better. You can discard it from your hand to draw a card. You want to do that. You want to mix it up and have different effects for different cards. Being able to discard this card from your hand to draw a card, it makes it nice. We added draw a card for Fireball, because 3 gold is a heck of a lot of gold to spend for a battle action that may or may not win you the battle. So if you add draw a card, this becomes much better. And that is what I recommend. I don't change any of the other ones. Well, actually, for Panther, if you're playing Panther, and that's a rare, not only would I say draw a card, I would also say that Panther can't be countered or stolen. Because if I play Panther and you play Steel Strength and you just stole that, oh my God, I just paid 4 gold. For 4 gold, I should be able to, it should be counterproof, steel-proof, and I should be able to draw a card. So those are my 2 changes for the strength modifiers. This card is weak. It's okay, but you got to lose the battle. The problem is it doesn't attach to the card. You don't put a -1 counter on the dragon, because there is no -1 counter on the dragon. You could do it to mark it, because you got to remember, why not just say attach this card, which means turning it down or village will get rid of it, so make it -2. This attaches to the dragon, which makes the game more fun. You've got more cards for village to be able to take out, but it's -2. I think that makes it a better card, but it's vulnerable because the way it is right now, you can't get rid of that strength other than magical healing. Magical healing is the only way to get rid of the strength. So if you want to leave it this way and make it -2, you could even say pay a gold, draw a card. You can add pay a gold, draw a card thing to it. It's good. Same with Gully, same thing. Gully is a great card as a sideboard card. This is basically a sideboard card. I might main deck it in a basic tournament because there's a good chance they're going to play help. Oh no, wait, it won't work with help. It will only work with Magic Potion, and that's my problem with Gully. How do you fix that? So go see if help is a battle action. I can't stop it. I can stop Magic Potion, and I can stop the rare dragons that get or give help, and that's it. How do you fix this? Make it action or battle action. Simple. That's all Gully needs. Just add or battle action and problem solved. They play help. They try to use help in some way in battle. Nope. You got to be able to respond to that. Or just say action or reaction. That might be better because it really is a reaction. All right. So help. I don't know why. Oh, I think I just put that in because to show you, you can't, Gully doesn't stop this. I think that was the only reason I had that. Knight and Golden Apple and Fountain of Youth, my other change to the game. We've decided that these cards can significantly prolong the game. We're talking 12 times your dragon doesn't die. 12 cards that stop your dragon from dying. Canceling the battle or saving them. Just limit this to 2 cards per deck. 2 Knights, 2 Golden Apples, 2 Fountains of Youth. That's still 6. That's still a lot. That's still a strategy. I think that's a much better system. Limit these to 2. I think a lot of these cards should be limited to 1, 2, or 3. They did it. They limited Volcanic Eruption to 1 because Volcanic Eruption would steal strength is absurd in multiples. And they limited Kiss of Lasukube to 1 copy because it's so ridiculously powerful. And I do basically the same thing with Kiss of Lasukube that I did with Forest Fire. Same effect, basically. All right, Thuhan. Should Thuhan cost 2 gold for a 1 strength dragon? No. You got to win a battle, and now he's a 2. You paid 1 gold for him for a 1. That's Colchis, which I said Colchis should be free. So now you win a battle, he's a 2. So now he's Gwivir, a 2-strength dragon with no ability. Well, yeah, he's got an ability. If you win another, he's now a 3, he's Tarask. If this guy just cost 1 gold, I'm playing him. 2 gold, I don't care for it. It's not good enough. I think I did have him in my attack deck, a deck that I made that totally just wants to win, trying to win battles. Sure, he fits the theme of the deck, but that's the only deck he makes. Now Vampire is a good dragon, very good dragon, but he's also on defense the worst dragon in the game. He's Colchis for 3 gold. How's that for insane? It's terrible. So I guess his ability should only work when he's attacking. It's kind of like the vampire strikes you, he bites you, you know. I feel like he should be able to somehow implement this ability on defense as like a battle action. He could do this, like pay a gold, bite the dragon. He gets +1 strength. The dragon gets -1 strength. Something like that would be cool. But what I came up with for this dragon, which makes this a very unique dragon in the game because no other dragon works like this, is that when he enters the battle, you have the option. Do you want to lower his gold cost by 1 or increase his strength by 1 when you pay for the dragon? When you pay for the dragon? Yes, when you pay for the dragon. So you're either going to get a 3 gold for 2. He gets a 2, so he goes up to 2 strength, or you leave him at 1 strength, but he only costs 2. That's still Colchis for 2, which stinks. So if you implement the battle action, when defending, you may one time. I would limit it like that. Once when defending per battle, you can bite the dragon. You get +1 strength. I think that's a cool thing too. Other than that, Vampire's a really cool dragon. Just gotta love this dragon. All right, Dragon Egg. See what I did? I changed the pay 3 gold to pay 1 gold. This card is so cute and such a neat idea, but it's not worth 3 gold. It's just not. You're not gaining a battle position. You're swapping out a position, which you might want to swap out a position if you've got, if the dragon's been weakened sadly, or has got like a stream on him, or quicksand, which is just going to drain him. Sure, you could play Dragon Egg, but 3 gold? No. 1 gold, maybe 2. If you want to say 2, 3 is too much. Really great idea for a card, though. All right, Dragon Mother. What does revealing the top card have anything to do with the concept of this card? Oh, the Dragon Mother's in play. Oh, we get to see. We reveal our card. What? Shouldn't the Dragon Mother protect dragons in the row? If face up dragons, maybe just when they're face up. Now they get +1 when defending or something like that. I don't know. It's got to be something, but this is free, so you can't do too much unless you want to add a gold to the cost and make it even better. Make it +2 when defending. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Dragon Mother should protect dragons in her row that are face up. That makes more sense to me, and I love this card. I just love this card. It's one of the coolest looking cards in the game. Golden Fleece is so neat, and Colchis guards the Golden Fleece. How about when Colchis is face up, the Golden Fleece is free. It's a little 1-strength dragon. He said nothing, right? But if you say it says right on the card he guards the Golden Fleece. Well, if he's face up, Golden Fleece is free. Oh, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I know, but the other option, of course, is should we lower this to 2? We lowered jewels and there's also precious gems. I don't have it here. Jewels and sword. We lowered to 1. Should you lower this to 2? Well, this one's not as bad because +2 for 3 is better than +1 for 2. If you do the math, it's double. It's 2 for 3, 1 for 2. The math probability makes this not as expensive. +2 is twice as significant as +1. There's that. But if you make this 2 gold, it's a rare. I think it should only cost 2. Now this is a really good treasure. It's still expensive. 2 is a lot of gold. Doomsday. Doomsday is potentially good and potentially bad. This is just a waste of a card unless you get at the right time. If you can get rid of your opponent's dragons and they replace them, but now they're going to draw cards, but now they've just lost those dragons that they paid for. That's the idea here. They're going to run out of gold quickly, or you do this with your bad dragons or weakened dragons, and you can get rid of those dragons and draw some cards, and that way that could be real beneficial for you. So there are a couple scenarios where it can be used against your opponent to hurt them and help drain them of gold, or to help you get cards and not drain you of gold. But for 5 gold, this should be the best card in the game. Now, I'm not going to make it the best card in the game doing what I'm going to do, and we are going to play this at some point. But what I do now, what I've said is what we're going to do is when we play Doomsday, you take these 5 gold and you put them off to the side in the gold mine in a separate section, separated from their other gold that's in the gold mine. And every turn on your draw phase, you take back one of those gold. So for the next 5 turns, you will get back all the gold that you just paid for this card. And now Doomsday is pretty damn cool because it's effectively a free card. And I like it. Much better card. All right, Dragon Man. I love this card. Kind of feel like it should only cost one. There's something we got to do with this card. It's too situational. It rarely comes up. But when it comes up, it technically is worth the 2 gold. So it's not necessarily that we have to lower it to 1. It's that we have to be able to discard it to draw a card or something. Because what are the odds that you and I are both going to have the same dragon face up on the battlefield? You're only allowed 1 dragon per deck. I don't know. But I love the card. It's just a cool looking card. Hall of Chivalry is cool. Should it only cost 1 gold? I'm not sure. At 1 gold, I'm always going to play this because I play Turn the Tables and Sirens. Those 2 cards are really good. And Sirens I don't even think is rare. And I love Sirens and I love Turn the Tables and I like Hall of Chivalry, but that 2 gold's a little much. So maybe 1 gold. I don't know. I knew somebody who loved this card. He played it. He loved playing it. He'd bluff his opponents, and he thought it was fun. This card was banned from play, considered a stupid card. We got to fix this card. I'm not sure how, but I love the concept. The Trojan horse, the treasure Trojan horse is similar in concept, and that card plays really well. One of my friends who was here playing has a Trojan horse deck, and I'm like, man, that is nasty. It is nasty. Maybe we'll get that on video sometime for you to see that card in action. But this is such an interesting idea, such a great concept that just needs to be fixed somehow, and I'm not sure exactly how. Should hero only cost 1? Well, as you can see, I've taken this rare card and put my black marker to it. At 1 gold, I like this card. At 2 gold, it's just a little too expensive for my taste. And my friend had no problem with me playing this for 1 when we played it. And it was decent. Pretty good card. This one is justified. If I take out 2 of your flying dragons, I will pay 4 gold to take out 2 of your flying dragons, let alone 3. Maybe we lower the gold cost to 3. That's about the only thing. Maybe. I don't know. But the other thing, since this is a rare card, why not be able to discard this card from your hand to draw a card? I mean, if there's nothing in play, if this is just sitting in your hand, shouldn't you be allowed to discard it to draw a card? Shouldn't that be in the text? I think so. So that's my change there. I don't know why they thought this card should cost a gold. Really? Can't get or give help? Just make this free. Can't get or give help. A face-up dragon for this turn can't get or give help. I don't think that should cost a gold. I think that should be free. The cost is the card. I think that's good enough. I don't know, but I'm thinking this should be lowered to 3. It's a good effect. It's a cool effect. It's neat, but it might not work. And 4 gold is a ton. I don't think this is overdone at 3. I think it's still a good card, and I don't think it becomes too powerful. So that's my only possible change to it. This card needs something. We should be allowed to discard this to draw a card, because what if this just isn't going to apply? This is a situational card. It's a sideboard card. I just wanted to show it to point that out. These cards are so situational. Fog, Ravens, and Hawks. No Archers, no Giant Ants, no Ravens. Sure. Can we discard this card to draw a card, please? That would be nice. Something else. I thought I had some other option for it. I think that's the best option. Again, these are sideboard cards, though. You don't main board these cards. Why would you? There's maybe the flyer. Yeah, well, no, because it's Ravens. No Ravens can be played. What are the odds that your opponent's playing Ravens? It's just, add this card to draw. I think that'd be better. This card is just not relevant enough. Sure, Heat Wave and High Winds. Nobody plays Flood. It needs something else. It needs other cards that it can counter that, or you should be allowed to discard it to draw. something like that. And then with Kiss, what I did was you go to slay my dragon. I counter the Dragon Slayer. Now you must sacrifice one of your cards. I don't get to pick. That's why they limited this to one copy. Under my revision, where you have to sacrifice a card, now I can play 2 copies of Kiss. I would raise this to 2 copies. Initially, it was 4 copies and said, no. This is insane. No one's going to play Dragon Slayers ever again. It's like, yeah. So that is my change to that. I do have a few more cards I want to show you, though. All right, let's bring out the binder here. And here we see Crocodile. This card should only cost 2. If he loses a battle, the dragon can't be turned face down for the rest of the game. How often is that going to matter or even be relevant or even come up? Just make this card 2. He's a 2-strength dragon for 2. This should not cost 3. Not good enough. All of these hidden actions that you have to attach to your opponent, meaning you're guessing if it's going to even do anything or not. If you end up guessing wrong, you should be able to replace the card. So when this card, like Achilles, goes into the graveyard, you should get to draw a card if you guessed wrong, because the card literally did nothing. So come on. Should Adonis only cost 1 gold? It's a good ability. I'm not sure about that. But all these hidden actions that attach to your opponent's card, you're guessing, you're not going to play them. But if you know that you guessed wrong, you will ultimately draw a card, then it's a playable card. And that's all you're trying to do. You got to make these cards playable, because if they're unplayable and no one's going to play them, then what's the point? This is a neat card. Player of your choice cannot move any cards in the action phase, in the movement phase. Great looking card, cool, love the art, like the idea. It's just not relevant enough to play it. What do? You could add pay a gold to draw a card. You can discard this card to draw a card. You could do something. I don't know, but it needs something, I think. That's just me. No clue why this card costs 2 gold. Are you kidding me? Yes, there is sometimes a significance to being able to go first in all the action phases. The losing dragon, the dragon who's losing the battle, goes first in battle. But in all action phases, you get first play. Okay, but 2 gold? No. Maybe 1 gold. Maybe this should be free. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Dwarf King is okay. I like the concept. He should be free. I don't have to show you my hand. That's all it does. You can't look at my hand. This card should be free. Because you see, a free card still has the cost of a card. So that's the point. Hold on here. Okay, remember when I showed you the Perendes tree, which costs 2 gold? This is a very similar card, and it only costs 1 gold. That's why Perendes tree should only cost 1 gold. I just wanted to point that out. So the changes I did with poison breath or poison breathing, I forget what it's called. Same thing applies with Graham. Graham's a good card. Same changes apply. Either make it -3, lose 3 strength, but attach, or something. Same effects that I had. So pay a gold to draw a card, maybe. Things like that. All right, let's see what else is here. Ah, yes, Hypnos. And from Chameleon, we have Mental Domination. Oh boy, you can force any face-up dragon to help in either battlefield. Well, that is a good ability. That's better than help. I can force any, but help I can bring in face-down dragons. Mental Domination, I can force any face-up dragon of 2 or less strength. Okay, so I can bring in little guys. These should both cost 1 less gold. Just going to say it. Help costs 1 gold. Mental Domination should cost 1 gold. I don't think Mental Domination is better than help. Yes, I can force any face-up dragon, but I can only do it with little dragons. If this costs 1 and Hypnos costs 2, now I'm going to play them. I'm not playing them at this cost. It's not worth it. Besides, if I force your dragon to help on my side and I win the battle, your dragon doesn't die. If I lose the battle, your dragon dies too. Yeah, that's good, but my dragon died. So it's good in one sense. It's better than help in one sense, but this is too expensive. And this is what the game, this is what the problem with the game was. These cards become too darn expensive. And you end up, you better raise the starting gold to 30. That's what I would do with a lot of these cards. All right. Now, Midas is a really cool card. You lose the battle position, though. Ouch. It's still cool. I feel like you should be able to draw a card. I mean, I'm giving up a battle position. I'm getting gold, but I think if you had to draw a card, you got to get something for this because I like the card. I do. It's just... is Tor too limited of a card? Let me let's call it up here. Darn it. There we go. Treasure of your choice has no effect during this battle. Yeah, that's significant. You can turn off their Fountain of Youth or their Magic Potion. This is pretty much a sideboard card. I don't know if it needs to be changed. It's free. At least they realize it's free. Because it is situational, and I think that cards like this are fine for the game. I think they're necessary for the game as sideboard cards. And I think you just have to accept that that's what it's going to be. All right, let's look at these cards. Let me grab these. I don't remember if there's a fourth one, but we've got doves here. If the battle is a tie, it is a draw and both dragons survive. Or Tengu, if it ends in a tie, both dragons are killed. There's no winners or losers. Or my favorite of the three, whenever this battle is tied, the defender is ahead. So the defender wins. But see, you've got to play the card to get that effect, and you still might not win the battle. I think all of these cards should say draw card. I do. Draw a card. Because they're so situational, and they still might not do anything if this battle ends in a tie. For these two, it has to end in a tie to work. It still might not end in a tie. And just because you're tied doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere. But I like the concept. So, Should this card cost 3 gold? I think maybe it should only cost 2 gold. I'm not 100% on that. I'd love to hear what other people think. I really like the card, though. Great card. Great looking card, too. The Pathfinder is one of the coolest looking cards in the game. Love the effect. Think it's great. Just to be able to turn your dragon into a scout is very cool, but should it be 3 gold or 2 gold? 2 gold, I'm probably going to play this card. 3 gold it's a lot. I don't know, man. It's a great idea, but it seems a little pricey. I'm not sure, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's pretty good. Mermaid. Should this cost a gold? Remove all cards that are attached to other cards in both battlefields. This includes cards that are attached to other treasures. Should that cost a gold? I'm not sure. Should Owl only cost 3? Is 4 too much for Owl? Ishtar costs 3, and it's similar. It's not quite as good as Owl, so that's why it's 4. But I think 4 might be too much. I just, not sure about that. Like Piazza, I don't think there's any reason for this one to have a gold cost on it either. It's just not a good enough dragon with that gold cost. But I guess, being able to turn off night is a significant thing. I'm just not sure. All right, I think this card should only cost 3. I think 4 gold is too much. It's very hard to kill 2 dragons with this. And if you're not killing at least 2 dragons, this card's not worth it. I think 3 would make it about right, but I could be wrong about that. I think this card would be more fun if it could be played like a reaction, so that when your opponent plays the intercept, you slay the interceptor. So it's like they're trying to intercept the attack, and then you intercept the interceptor by slaying the interceptor before they can block. I think that would be a much better way to do this. I know that's trickier with wording, but work it out, make it work, because Rustum is just odd. Because you're hoping they have the card that you can then make them discard. Nah, let it slay the Interceptor. Come on. This card I think should only cost 1. I don't know why it costs 2. There's plenty of cost in the card. I'd lower it. I'd lower it to 1. That's just me. Curious what you all think. This card is dumb. I did not like this card when I saw it. I don't think it ever got banned. I would never play it, but sure, yeah, you could get a lot of gold, and I'm sure people did use it and just took the chance, and every now and then somebody lost the game, which is dumb. It's real simple. If you roll a 6, you lose 6 gold. That's all you got to change to this card. It's not really all or nothing, though. You'd have to come up with a different name for the card, but it's not all or nothing anyway. It's like you're going to get a lot of gold or you're just going to lose the game. That's not all or nothing. That's all or end. It all comes to an end. But if the 6 makes you lose 6 gold, oh, I'm playing this card because that's a big risk. That's still a big risk, but I really like it. And there's other ways you could change it too. But here's a card that there's quite a few. I'm going to just pull all these. Hold a second. Hold on 1 second here. Alrighty, so we have Torrential Rains. What a great looking card. You may rearrange all the cards in an opponent's battlefield. Can't look at anything. 2 gold? 2 gold? No. I don't even know if this is worth 1 gold. I like the concept. I think I ought to be able to draw a card at 2 gold. Maybe even at 1 gold, I think I should be able to draw a card. Because I can see where it's significant, but it's niche. So I don't get the 2 gold. This card was banned. Players didn't like that they couldn't look at their cards for 2 turns. I think this is a fun card. I think this is a fun, annoying way to annoy your opponent, and tough. You can't look at cards. I don't see the problem with it, but people said it was no good. They banned it. You couldn't use this card. We played it when we were playing Wyvern back in the day, when these cards first came out. We played it. It was like, man, this stunks. This stinks. Stunks? Okay. This stinks. I can't look at my cards for 2 turns. They said, nope, no good. Bad card, bad design. Okay. I was all right with it. Didn't bother me. This card, should this be 3 gold? Is 3 gold too low? Would that make this card too powerful for what it does? I think it should be 3. I think 4 is just too much. If you're going to pay 4 gold for both Owl and Golem, it should say draw card. Now I'm okay with it, because 4 gold is just insane. The only card that I feel is justified at 4 gold, let me see if I can find it. It was right around here somewhere. There we go. Nectar. That card is worth 4 gold. That's still a big cost to play, but 2 cards a turn, oh yeah, that card is worth it. But I would be okay with that said 3. And it's a really good card at 3, though. Holy moly. All right, let's look at some other poorly designed chameleon cards. Okay, Brain Drain. 2 gold. Remember, Power Switch costs 2 gold. Keep that in mind. Medea's spell. Target dragon loses all special abilities while Brain Drain is on it. Discard Brain Drain if target dragon is turned face down. Okay, so you can get rid of it by turning it face down. That's cool. It loses all abilities. Yeah, this is... I think this should only be 1 gold. This isn't a bad card. I just said bad. Let's look at some poorly designed cards. This isn't. I just think 2 gold is a little much for this. This is kind of like one of those 1.5 gold cards, and I would just round it down to 1. Sure, the ability is good, but they can get rid of it with Village or by turning it down. But, it's okay. And this card is okay. This is basically for your Cauldron deck. You want to rearrange your cards so they don't know what card is what. You're flipping cards up and flipping cards down, so Twister is free, but they can switch their cards around too. Now only you can. Yeah, but man, that gold, I don't know. I'm torn. I think it's okay, but I feel like it needs a little something. I'm not sure what though. This card, I don't know what they were thinking with this card. 2 gold, right? So for each gold you pay in addition to the cost of Thunderbolt, put a -1 strength counter on any one face-up dragon. So what they're saying is, this thing is so powerful that you're going to have to pay 3 gold to put a -1 strength counter on a dragon. Compare that with other cards like poison breathing and stuff. What the heck? Get rid of the gold. Maybe you could go 1 gold, but I wouldn't. I would go no gold, but I would accept 1 gold as a okay cost. And now it's fine. For no gold, it's just put a -1 strength counter for each gold paid. Not in addition to the cost, unless you want to say 1 gold for the cost. But my God, I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Black Rainbow. Really? I'm going to pay 2 gold to turn all of my face-up dragons face down? For Avalanche, I can turn down all face-up dragons are turned face down, and it's free. At most, this should cost 1 gold. And even then, I don't know if I love the look. It's just not 2 gold. Give me a break. And this card, really? The player that wins this battle must discard the top 2 cards of their Dragon Lair. Okay, the Dragon Lair is small. There's only like 20 cards. Are you playing this in your native terrain dragon deck to feed the native terrain dragons? Is that it? Because why does this card cost 1 gold? The player who wins this battle must discard the top 2 cards. That's effectively doing nothing in the game, unless there's native terrains involved, or unless you got rid of a card that you really are glad you got rid of. I'm saying 0 for Scorpion Men. All right, this is an interesting card. It's cool. At the end of the battle, the winning dragon's base strength becomes 0 and remains 0 as long as Deep Freeze is on it. The dragon's owner may discard 3 cards to get rid of it. So in addition to playing Village, you could just discard 3 cards and get rid of it. Is this really worth 3 gold? I think it should just be 2. It's a cool card, but I don't know. I would lower it to 2. I understand why they initially thought 3, but I just don't think that's good enough. And here's another card, Lucky Strike. Really, Lucky Strike. When whoever is behind in the battle, when you play this, gets 1 gold. There's my Lucky Strike. Hey, I'm losing the battle. I'll play a card to get a gold. This has got to be at least 2 gold. It's got to be at least 2 gold. I'm not playing this card. Why would you play this card? I don't get it. You're going to give up a card for 1 gold. I understand if you have 0 gold, you're gonna wish you had that card in your hand because, hey, at least you get something. But my goodness, my goodness, that's crazy. And here's one of the dumbest cards in the game. No clue what they were thinking with this card. What in the... maybe they were thinking about this for future cards that they were going to make where this would be relevant, but transfer any number of gold pieces between the gold pile and the gold, your gold pile and the gold vault. So you're protecting your gold, right? You got to protect your gold, but then you could get the gold vault could be destroyed. The gold vault should not be able to be destroyed. This is not protecting your gold in any significant way. There's no point in playing this card. I don't know what they were thinking with it. And then this Ring of Destiny, while it looks amazing, sounds amazing, but then your opponent gets the effect, and the effect is good. Where the what was the card? Runic Tablet. I love Runic Tablet. That's this card right here. I don't mind that they're going to get that effect. It might benefit them, but it's not going to hurt me. It's a cool card. This card is really cool, but then they get to do it to you, and I don't think that's worth 2 gold. I'm not even sure if that's worth 1 gold. I'm wondering if it should be free since you get to do it to me. So I would either remove the you get to do it to me part, because then I think it is worth 2 gold. But as is, I don't think it is. I like the card. I don't think they thought that one through. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. And there's precious gems where you're saying that if you were wondering what I was talking about, the 3 gold for +2 against defense, and also that defense is against Dragon Slayers, which that's just a rule that we use for jewels as well. +1 when defending, even against Dragon Slayers. Absolutely 100%. All right. I don't think. Oh yeah, no, there still are a couple cards here. So you're paying 2 gold, and you get to put a -1 strength counter on any face-up dragon. Then you have to flip a Wyvern coin. You just have to flip it. So you get heads, you get another counter, but if you get tails, you have to discard it. Okay, I guess, but so this might only just get you 1. You may continue flipping until tails results may be used once on each of your turns. I think this should only cost 1. Because it might only just get you a -1 counter, and I'm not paying 2 gold for that minor effect. It's not good enough. So I would lower that, or I'd let you get it. You may flip a coin. You don't have to flip a coin. You could just do that, on your turn. Next turn, you could do it again, and then you may flip a coin. I don't know. There's another way to fix it. Now, this card is good if you have no gold, but wouldn't it be better if this said you get 2 gold? It only works if you have no gold. You have to have 0 gold for this to work. I said that wrong. You need 0 gold to make this work. If this was you get 2 gold, then I'm playing this card, because there's a lot of cards that you can now play in your hand. That 2 gold is significantly better than 1. I just don't think it's worth the treasure position. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not that bad. But those are the changes that I have made to the Wyvern card game. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. An hour and 20-minute video. Hour and 22 minutes. Okay, we're long video. And I have made a video like the similar, but not fully of showing you all the changes that I've made. I feel the Wyvern game is much better with my changes. I think it is very fun to play with these updated rules. And I hope you enjoyed me taking the time to share them with you. And I hope this makes your Wyvern games more fun too. I would love to hear if they do. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.